All right, to discuss all these economic issues, we're joined by our economic expert and senior partner at SPM Professionals, Paul Alaje. Thank you so much for joining us, Paul. Let's take it from what the World Bank's argument is actually that 40% of Nigeria's population consume less than 3% of the total PMS, meaning is the rich that actually benefit. I mean, this has been the argument over time. But this 5,000 naira that will take the place of subsidy removal, really, exactly what will it do to the 40 million poor Nigerians?
Well, the proposal by the minister and those in fiscal arm to see how to significantly reduce the impact of subsidy removal. I doubt if it will work. At best, it's a way of redistributing income from one part. It really cannot cushion any form of impact. When you say you want to give, how much does that come to in a month? Do the math. 30 million. Let's go with the lower limit. 30 million times 50 times 5,000. That's a month times 12. What will that come to? So will you need to cut your nose to spite your face. What exactly are you up to? The real way to cushion the effect, and why do we need to cushion effect? I don't know how much time I have. So when people say that there is no need for subsidy, that is the real argument. We are subsidizing because we are importing. Now, when you look at national income equation, you know, income equals to consumption plus investment plus government expenditure, and the difference between export and import. Government is, and that's expenditural approach. Government is carrying the burden, which is the G in the formula. Now, government is saying household or firm take the responsibility. The question is, which other option do we have? Why do we need to pay? Listen, we have these challenges because of exchange rate. If exchange rate were to be what it was in 2015 or 2016 or 2017, official rate, what was it? 305. What is the official rate today? Over 400. And you are exporting what you have because of our incapacity to refine oil locally. We export and import the same thing. Come on. Consuming about 30% of our foreign exchange. Now we say, when we subsidize, have we solved the real problem? I understand when IMF and World Bank professionals speak, they speak of an economy that has foundation. What is the foundation of our economy? Foundation of every economy should be energy. Recently, we have also heard by the same institution that we need to remove subsidy on electricity. There's the question. If you refuse to use AEDC power supply in Abuja, what option do you have? If you refuse to use Eco electricity in Lagos, will you tap wire from Island Eco Electric in the same state, extend it to Ikeja? It's not possible. We are left without option. So before you talk economics, competition is the foundation. There is no competition. If you don't want to import, where will the free come from? So what can government do so that we don't sound as though we are not providing solutions?
Exactly.
What government should do is to provide subsidy, cushion of subsidy removal impact around the infrastructure. And this will remain providing buses, mass transit. In 2011, minimum wage was 18,000, equivalent of 2 bags of rice. Today, minimum wage is 30,000, equivalent of 1 bag of rice. Now, what is the difference? It is not the money that matters, whether you give 5,000 or 10,000 or 50,000. What exactly can the money do? Listen,
that's the question.
If you remove subsidy tomorrow or next year, be sure that labor will go to the street. Be sure, we saw a protest in Nigeria, NSAS protest, and as an observer, I ask, why did we have NSAS? So people started NSAS, but along the line, people started singing anti-government songs. I followed the trend. So it left police conversation against police brutality to economic implication. Economic implication, which is the real conversation that people are concerned about. So if you remove subsidy without putting cushion effect in place, and this will not be 5,000, because how do you determine how many people get 5,000? How do you determine how many people that is 42% of the population are said to be poor? 42% of 206 million. Be charitable, say 200 million. In fact, say 40% of 200 million, 80 million people, 5,000.
So
your vote will be
you talked about buses. The roads are filled with even cars Would that even really solve the problem?
Mass transit.
Or going back to finding a way to stop importing what we have
Fixing the
and
refineries.
refining it here, so we don't, we're not subjected to the vagaries of international currency, dollar. We'll probably talk about that more.
Well,
but let me go
that's a permanent solution, if you ask me, which is where I started from. So we have Dangote refinery coming mainstream. The truth is that government will at best push the price a bit higher. But to remove it, I am yet to see a government that have done 80 cents.
Let me ask you this question
before
we let you go. The MPC has commended the output, growth in the last 2 quarters, what CBN is doing, and also encouraged the CBN to continue with current efforts at trying to turn around the economy. How do you see the commendation of the MPC and, of course, the efforts of the CBN?
Now, first, I must say that CBN had intervened. Monetary policy, we've started seeing action coming from monetary area. We are hoping, that the fiscal authority will converge. When we say converge or meet, we are not saying you are not talking. We are saying your policies are not aligning, and you need 3 legs. Monetary authority is only 1/3. You need trade authority. How come we consume so much of what is imported? The other time I spoke about how Nigerian women buy imported air and it's equivalent of the tractors. And I jokingly mentioned that, so you shouldn't be surprised where the jobs are. Maybe women are carrying on their head. That's not what I mean literally. I am saying that government through trade policy should support our importation, should be capital goods. I'm not saying people should not look fine. If you hand the money, you have the right to look fine. But what will make our tummy not to be empty is through functional trade policy.
In a sustainable
in a sustainable economy. So we already have markets. If this is what our women demand, can we make policy to produce locally? And
did you just talk about the human
I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
I'm going
or
somewhere.
even get the people to come and
set up here.
Yeah, that's the point. So now you also need, so CBN, not to lose the point, Central Bank have been taking a lot of actions, and we have also seen the growth that we saw 5%, now 4%. A lot of people are worried the growth is coming down. I think it's still fine. We need to maintain this positive growth to the end of last quarter, but we cannot make major changes. And that is why I indeed appreciate the decision taken by monetary authority by not changing the rate, because it will be too dangerous when you compare 4% on a negative base year. Base year for 3rd quarter 2020 was -3. So you cannot compare yourself with a child that failed in class. That was a time of recession. That was when government announced recession. Now the 4th quarter was 0.11, extremely weak. Before we can know what to do as to if the growth is real, we need to wait to the 1st quarter 2022. Compare that with 1st quarter 2021, which of course has started showing positive signs as a matter of fact. So that is what I think authority should do. Now I'm happy with this decision. Central Bank should continue to intervene. It's more or less becoming interventionist approach. Meanwhile, if other authorities, trade policy makers and fiscal policy makers are doing their job. This 5,000 given this 5,000 we want to give hoping that by the time we remove subsidy, I can tell you the price of rice, the price of gari, the price of eyeglasses, the price of laptop, the price of what you can imagine will be affected. You know why? Power and electricity are energy. Without energy, we cannot talk. Without energy, we cannot work. What drives an economy is energy. When you remove your energy price, when you increase it, without improving output. So if this is made in Nigerian fuel you are talking about, and the output is also from Nigeria, consumed by Nigeria, we will have the impact on the economy. So what if exchange rate changes tomorrow? We are also going to come back and say we want to increase. We have not found permanent solution, and this is what government and authority must do.
It was always nice discussing with you, Paul Alaje, economic expert and senior partner at SPM Professionals. Good to have you talk professionally.
Thank you so very much.
All right.